More people in Metro Manila are dying due to COVID-19. In its special report released Wednesday, April 14, the Octa Research group says the case fatality rate in Metro Manila rose from 1.82% from March 1 to 27 to 5.36% from March 28 to April 13. Case fatality rate is the proportion of people who die from COVID-19. The group says the high death rate in Metro Manila can be attributed to overwhelmed hospitals and the presence of new COVID-19 variants. In March, the health department says the more infectious variants of COVID-19 called B117 and B1351 were present in all cities in Metro Manila. The Octa team also notes the large proportion of deaths are senior citizens. The group is urging the government to prioritize the elderly's access to healthcare. Philippine President Rodrigo Duterte and Russian President Vladimir Putin discussed the COVID-19 pandemic and defense cooperation in a phone call Tuesday, April 13. In the 30-minute phone call, Duterte thanks Putin for helping the Philippines weather the COVID-19 pandemic. Specifically, they talk about Russia's vaccine, Sputnik V. The Philippines has ordered 20 million doses of the vaccine. The two leaders note the importance of deploying Sputnik V doses to as many countries as possible and ramping up global production and supplies. Putin mentions to Duterte the need for more economic cooperation, highlighting the positive trajectory of Russia-Philippines relations. Meanwhile, Duterte invites Putin to visit the Philippines as soon as circumstances allow, which the Russian leader welcomes. The continuous swarming of Chinese ships in the West Philippine Sea are quote-unquote prejudicial to peace and security of the region. The National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea says Tuesday, April 13, there are even more Chinese ships in the area a month after hundreds of Chinese vessels were first spotted. It adds, the presence of the Chinese poses a threat to the safety of navigation, safety of life at sea, and impedes the exclusive right of Filipinos to benefit from the marine wealth in the exclusive economic zone. The task force estimates 240,000 kilos of fish are illegally taken from Philippine waters every day. It earlier reported Chinese fishermen illegally harvesting giant clams last March 28. Foreign Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin says Wednesday, the Philippines filed another diplomatic protest against China because of the situation. Despite this, former United States Secretary of State Hillary Clinton fears that the Philippines might end up heavily indebted to China.
I think that there's a real danger that left unchecked, the Philippines, no matter who the leader is, would find itself increasingly unable to act without Chinese approval. I don't think that's the kind of future that the Philippines would like.
Clinton is confident the Biden-Harris administration will strengthen the United States' relationship with the Philippines.
I think that what the Philippines needs more than anything is a relationship with the U.S. where the U.S. stands up with the Philippines against unfair, illegal Chinese influence.
In the United States, the suburban Minneapolis police officer who fatally shot a black man resigns from her post Tuesday, April 13. Police Chief Tim Gannon, who said the incident was an apparent accident, also resigns. Officer Kim Potter, a 26-year veteran of the police force, drew her pistol instead of her taser at Dante Wright last Sunday. Wright was stopped for an expired car registration. The resignation of the two police officers comes after 2 nights of protests and clashes between demonstrators and police in Brooklyn Center. City Mayor Mike Elliott hopes the recent developments will send a message to the community that authorities are taking the situation seriously. It is also in Minneapolis where the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former policeman charged with murdering George Floyd, is ongoing. Floyd died in May 2020 with his neck pinned under Chauvin's knee. He became the face of a national movement against racial injustice and police violence. Harvey Weinstein is indicted in California on sexual assault charges. The charges cover alleged attacks on 5 women from 2004 to 2013 in the Los Angeles area. It includes 4 counts of forcible rape, 4 counts of forcible oral copulation, 2 counts of sexual battery by restraint, and 1 count of sexual penetration by use of force. Weinstein denied having non-consensual sex with anyone. On Monday, April 12, the former Hollywood movie producer appeared in a New York court proceeding for his extradition. He has been appealing his February 2020 conviction and its 23-year prison sentence for sexually assaulting former production assistant Mimi Haley and raping former aspiring actress Jessica Mann. Weinstein's conviction was seen as a watershed moment in the #MeToo movement against sexual abuse and harassment by powerful and influential men. If convicted in California, he could spend the rest of his life in prison, even if his New York conviction were overturned. Star Magic, ABS-CBN's talent management arm, says it is deeply concerned about the bashing and threats that the children of its artists receive on social media. In a statement released Wednesday, April 14, Star Magic says the posts are quote-unquote downright heartless and cruel. It adds it will not hesitate to seek legal action to make sure these individuals learn their lesson. The statement comes after several Star Magic artists took to social media to expose their children's bashers. Carlo Aquino and partner Trina Candaza called out a fake account that threatened to use their 7-month-old daughter as a punching bag. Celebrity couple Janela Salvador and Marcus Patterson also fired back at online users who are making fun of their 5-month-old son Jude's appearance. Meanwhile, the ABS-CBN News Channel enters into an agreement with a Filipino-Chinese media company to air a nightly weekday news program delivered mainly in Mandarin Chinese. Chinese News TV began airing on the cable news channel on Monday, April 12. Showrunners say the program aims to promote shared Filipino-Chinese culture. In a statement, ABS-CBN, ANC's mother company, said it retains editorial control over the program. After drawing the ire of President Rodrigo Duterte, ABS-CBN was shut down in 2020 for supposed numerous violations.